So, in this series, we're talking about the sun in Libra because it's Libra season. And if you're watching this during Libra season, then happy birthday to you guys that are Libras. And in this video, we'll be talking about the sun in Libra in the 12th house and what this indicates. So, the sun in astrology shows us how it is that we constantly tend to act. And this is what comes across to others as our personality. And it's more of an unconscious thing that we do. The sun is very effortless and unconscious. And so that's why it's actually more relatable from an external point of view, or I guess it's more visible or perceivable by others than by ourselves a lot of times. So unless you know how others perceive you, or you're aware, or you've asked other people what they think of you, and whether the sun sign matches you, then you may not relate to it as much, unless you just know how people think of you intuitively. Now, with that being said, the sun just shows us our value to others and how it is that we shine in the world. And it shows us also something that we are passionate about, or like several things, several themes that we are passionate about, depending on which sign or house that it's in. So in this case, the sun is in Libra, which is the sign of others. And it's about relationships and relating to others. So when you have the sun in Libra, often this indicates somebody that has a passion to relating with others, or a passion for relating with others. And also it can show somebody that is a strong communicator, and that is quite communicative, or that likes to communicate with people, especially in a relationship setting, or in terms of a connection with others. A lot of times they'll have a lot of different connections, and they will have a lot of different friends, because the sun in Libra makes them the individual communicative, or it can make them interactive, or that's something that they like. Now, with that being said, the sun in this case is in the 12th house. The 12th house is considered a malefic house in astrology. And it's because it's the house of unconsciousness. So it's something that we're not aware of. And it really has to do with our unconscious perception of things, and our subconscious mind. So what's below the surface and what influences our actions and our point of view without us being fully aware. The only way to unlock the 12th house is to become more spiritually aware, or more self-conscious. And so that allows you to be aware of connections and factors that may influence you without you realizing it on a conscious level. Now, since the sun is in Libra, this indicates that you have a tendency to relate to others through your perception of things, especially your unconscious perception. So a lot of times different assumptions that you make, or just the way that you perceive things, is how you like to relate to others. So you like to either have a lot of control within your interactions with others, or like you tend to have a big presence in your relationships, or sometimes it can indicate that a lot of times you feel like a victim in your relationships, because the 12th house is about, things that are unconscious to us, and also it's about victimhood sometimes, and situations where we feel helpless and whatnot. So the 12th house can indicate that we like to receive help. So when the sun is in Libra in the 12th house, you must be careful not to feel like you are helpless, or like you need to rely on others too much, especially if it becomes detrimental. And a lot of times your actions and your personality will be like unconscious to yourself. So with that being said, you can often, well, I'm not going to say you, but I'm going to say in general, people that have this placement, which may or may not be relatable in your case, but people that have this placement, they have a tendency to be the victim in relationships, or they like being the victim, or this is just how their ego plays. So a lot of times you feel like you're a victim to certain situations or other people, and also it's just something to look out for, because again, the 12th house is about receiving help. So yeah, that basically sums up this placement or what I wanted to cover. But a lot of times what I'll say as well is that people that have this placement, their assumptions play a part of how they relate to other people, and they just can't help it. Like, the way that they see things is the only way that they can see things. So it can be stubborn in that way. And so sometimes it can create disagreements or like power struggles. And the reason why this theme of power struggles comes up is because Libra is in the 8th house from Pisces. And Pisces is the sign that's associated with the 12th house. And the 8th house is about destruction, death, power struggles. You know, it's very malefic, and it's about transformation. You know, it doesn't mean that it's bad, but it depends on how you use it. You can use it to gain control of your circumstances, but it tends to be an intense house. And so Libra and the 12th house, they don't mix in a positive way. So there's a lot of power struggles in your relationships, but it also indicates that you are motivated by those things, and this is what fuels you, and this is what progresses you. And so yeah, with that being said, that basically sums up what I wanted to cover for this placement. And you know, if you related to this in any way, or you can relate it to somebody else that you've interacted with, or something like that, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel, and share this video with like somebody that may benefit or that may have this placement. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching and supporting this channel in any way that you do. And I will see you guys sometime soon in another video. Peace. So the last thing I forgot to add is that when the sun is in the 12th house, it is also not in a good placement, because the 12th house is associated with Pisces, and you know, the sun is the ruler of Leo. So when it's in the 12th house, it is in a malefic aspect as well, because Pisces is the 8th house from Leo. So this placement can often make somebody unconsciously manipulative. Also, given the fact that Libra is in the 12th house and the ascendant would be in Scorpio. So these people can be takers in relationships, and they often receive help from others, and it just indicates also that they are strong communicators, so they're able to convince others or persuade others or like gaslight others. And since they're unconscious of their manipulative tendencies and they genuinely feel like a victim because it's just easier, they often blame the other person. So when you have this placement, either you can be a victim of this, or you can be like this unconsciously. And that is because with the sun activating your 12th house, this indicates that part of your life's purpose or part of your experience is that you're here to grow spiritually, especially through your relationships, and you're passionate about your relationships. And part of your relationships will be about coming to conclusions with people, especially with cycles that keep you stuck or codependent relationships. The 8th house is about conclusions, and there's a double 8th house energy. And in fact, your ascendant is in Scorpio, which is the sign that is associated with the 8th house. And either that, or you have Scorpio somewhere in the 1st house, because some of you guys may be Libra risings. And that actually makes it more favorable because you're more aware of your subconscious, because that means your 12th house sun and your 1st house are in the same sign. and your ascendant are in the same sign. And the ascendant shows conscious perception. So anyways, with Scorpio being the main ascendant, this indicates that intensity and power struggles are just a part of your life, and they're part of what will make you grow spiritually. And you're here to grow spiritually, or you're here also as a catalyst in your relationships to grow the other person as well. So you'll experience a lot of karmic relationships when you have this placement. And like, it is intense, but at the same time, you wouldn't want to have it any other way, because the sun shows something we're passionate about, and it's something that gives us life. So, part of your life is the intense situations. And in the end, you end up learning so much, and you end up growing so much in this lifetime if you have the sun in Libra in the 12th house.